Live with your host, Jim Ragoon. I am so grateful to see each and every one of you guys. Just wanted to come on live. It is Christmas and it's Merry Christmas to you guys. So grateful to see you. It is December 25th. And you know what? We're actually counting down to the end of 2020. And I don't know about you, but how many of you are so grateful to be over 2020, right? 2020 of the time when everybody was like, this was the year where you either had a good year, you had an awful year, or something in between happened. And this was that year, right? This was the year where everybody had times where they were doing the thing or they were trying to do the thing. And then everything got shaken up like a game of Yahtzee. And therefore, in that game of Yahtzee, we all came to this place of, hello, 2020. And we're doing the thing. So guys, welcome to the Everyday Leader Live, where I'm here to help you be the leader worth following, guys, the leader worth following. And we want to help increase your influence, your impact, and ultimately your income, because we are the everyday leader. So enjoy the show. So today, as you join us on the Everyday Leader Live, just tell me where you guys are coming from, what's going on, how are you doing. But I want to jump right into what we're doing, right into the content today, because I feel like there are a lot of things happening when you are leaving a year. When you are leaving a year and entering in a new year, it's a great time for new things to happen. It's a great time for this whole transition of life, this whole transition of things going on, this whole transition of mindsets. But guess what? It's also, in your mindset, it's also the coming or the closing of one thing and the opening of another. And I want to be able to have this conversation. And what does 2021 look like? And today, on today's show, I'm going to actually give you a few predictions. Like today's the day of sevens, but today we're going to give you 7 thoughts about 2021. And then in those 7 thoughts, I'm also going to give you 7 things to do, right? And if you have questions and answers, I will ask them live here on YouTube, and if in the chat on Facebook. So just make sure you hit me up in the comments and we're going to hit you live. Merry Christmas and welcome to the show. This is Jim Ragoon with the Everyday Leader Live. So first thing and foremost, let's give you a couple of predictions, guys. So the first thing and foremost is, here we go. The first thing is the prediction number 1 of 2021. Guess what, guys? There is still going to be some uncertainty, right? There's still going to be some uncertainty. Guess what? Just because you jump into the next year, just because you jump into just 3 days later, it doesn't mean all your problems go away. It doesn't mean everything stops. It doesn't mean everything just suddenly magically goes and makes everything better. No, in fact, quite the opposite. Really, the reality of the situation is tomorrow when you wake up, you're still going to have very similar issues and very similar challenges. So what's the difference? The mindset begins to change, right? New Year's Eve is coming up in less than 6-7 days, right? It is already the 25th. So we're looking at it in 5 days, 6 days, 6 days from now, New Year's Eve. What does that signify? That signifies a transition in your mindset that moves from uncertainty, right? Not uncertainty, we're talking about uncertainty, but moves from all this stuff into a mindset that says, man, there's new things happening. New Year's coming. Let me start getting my life right. Let me start getting my life into the place where there is now a great transition, right? Our mind and our body and our hearts and our souls and our spirits are all ready for this transition place. So with that being said, we've got to come to the understanding that there is still going to be a little bit of uncertainty, right? We just got out of a tough year. Now many have gone through something tough. You're still going through something tough. Christmas is not the same as it was last year. There's a little bit of differences with the pandemic, or maybe you lost somebody, and my prayers are those who have lost somebody. And in my family, we have a different dynamic in what our Christmas looks like. But the reality of that situation, guys, is that you and I, everything is different and things are uncertain. We don't know what 2021 is going to bring. So we have a level of uncertainty. But the good thing about uncertainty, guys, the good thing that we loved about uncertainty is it's not uncertainty into the places where we can't have great opportunity. It's uncertainty to the place that says, I just can't see too far down the road because what I've seen isn't something that has, it's just I'm kind of a little blind here. I'm kind of a little bit, I can't see that far, right? But that's okay because we've got uncertainty. The second thing that we've got to look at is the fact is it's going to be a little bit more instability, right? We have just in the United States, for you guys who are coming across, whether it be international and things like that, you and I have to understand that we have just entered out of an election that is still, things are happening with that. We still have a pandemic happening around the world. So there are things that are happening here that are still unstable, right? Because if uncertainty means I don't have control over it. Instability means it's just volatile, and the present circumstances are not at a place where it's 100% at the place where I can be comfortable making the best decisions, right? But with that being said, understand this: 2021 is going to be an incredible year because knowing that 2021 is got some uncertainty, and knowing that 2021 has a little bit of instability going into it, we can prepare for those things because what you prepare for, you can overcome. What you prepare for, you can overcome. So when you prepare for it, when you know it's coming, then you can overcome it, right? So rejoice in that, my friends. There are two things that you will see a little bit in the beginning of the year, but it may actually wind up coming and loosening it down later in the year. Just wanted to say hello, shout out to my brother, Mark, from Facebook over there. Hello, brother. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Welcome to the show. So those are two things so far that we're kind of just chatting with, man. Instability, uncertainty. These are two things. Economic strangeness, man. So what to expect in 2021? Economic strangeness, dude. Like, my goodness. This is like one of the strangest times. Like, and it's not even just the stock market. It's like everything is like so amazingly strange. If you're a business owner, I run a coaching and a speaking business. If you're a business owner, everything is different. Everything is pushing to virtual. Everything is pushing to redefine what you do, how you do it, how you reach people, showing up at doors. Even when you show up at doors, are people pro-mask, against mask? Are they, what is all happening? So we're living in a world with not only this uncertainty and instability, but economic strangeness. Like there's this weirdness happening and everything is in flux. It doesn't mean there's not opportunity. Matter of fact, there's incredible opportunity. And let me show you this, because the next thing that we can actually talk about is the fact that there are incredible bits of opportunity here. Let me put you both on both these screens. There are incredible bits of opportunity, right? And with incredible bits of opportunity, we actually have this beautiful thing to create incredible financial, overflow. We have the ability to create a business that sustains us in 2021. We have ability to touch and impact the world in 2021. Because here's what I know, guys: there is nothing like crisis that can, push you forward in innovation. Nothing like crisis pushes you forward in innovation. Nothing. Matter of fact, crisis tends to be the greatest catalyst for innovation, or the greatest catalyst for invention. And that's what happens when you have those things. If you have invention, you have innovation, it's because somebody had a crisis. And so opportunity is in 2021 because we have a lot of strangeness, we have a lot of instability, we have a lot of uncertainty going in 2021. But that's okay. That's okay, my friends, because here's the deal. We're going to go in with great amount of hope, because when we go in with great amounts of hope, we're going in with great amount of just this place where we're able to overcome and to do the things that we were created to do. Because I also think when I get to the place where what are 7 things to do for 2021, I really think this is going to be the greatest year of many people's lives. I just have an amazing feeling that you and I are going to enter into this place of absolute abundance, right? And now some of you guys are like, yeah, I don't know all about that. But you got to understand, guys, a lot of times crisis is the precursor for amazing opportunity. We've gone through the crisis. Now what comes next is opportunity, right? So when we're looking at this, let's take a look at the next one. Model reboots. So one of the things that you and I have to understand, have to really get to a place and have these conversations is in 2021. Not only are we going to have economic strangeness, instability, uncertainty, and opportunity. Man, the opportunity is going to be flowing. We're also going to have this really really interesting place where we're going to see a lot of models in leadership, a lot of models in churches, and a lot of models in business just begin to shift. It's going to begin to really change. It's going to begin to have this real great, reinvigoration, reinvention, re-pushing back into the marketplace in a new way, right? And I think that's a beautiful thing. Now, we went through a lot of pain to get there, but I think it's a really beautiful thing because here's the thing, guys, is that old things get stale, right? And then it requires newness. And so when you have newness, you have a crisis, you have an opportunity, it creates newness, it creates new models, it creates new proprietary, formulas, it creates all these things that you and I can put into practice to help others obtain the very things that they're looking for. The next thing that we can look at is there's going to be a greater shift to virtual. Guys, I can't begin, if you haven't even seen this, I can't even begin to share this more and more. Virtual is going to be the number one thing that people are going to be pushing more and more and more to. Yes, yes, there was already that shift. We saw that it was the rate was made quicker through the pandemic. All of this stuff was happening, right? But here's what I know, here's what I understand is that we're going to see more and more of a shift to that because guess what they found out? A lot of businesses, a lot of leaders, a lot of businesses who traditionally have not worked from home discovered they don't need an office anymore, that they can actually work from home. They discovered that, hey, that virtual is the way to go. We're going to move from brick and mortar businesses and buildings into a more virtual society, and you're going to see that more and more come. And I say that now because you and I need to be prepared for that. Will we still have a lot of the brick and mortar? Yes, we will, but business is going to be done more and more virtually. Look at Amazon, right? E-commerce is huge. It was the biggest thing in 2021, e-commerce, right? I'm a virtual coach and speaker. Some of you guys may be coaches and speakers. Some of you guys may be authors and writers or just in the info space in general. Guess what? There's going to be more and more need for that because even the info space is a multiple billion-dollar business that's going to grow over the next couple of years. And then even beyond that, crafts, you got places like Spotify and Etsy and all these other places that are growing right now because people are living in instability and they're living in this uncertainty and they're not relying on the government to do anything for them. So they're like, I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to do something different. So what are they going to do? They're going to take matters in their hand. They're going to rise up as men and women who are going to do their entrepreneurial journey. And as an entrepreneur, they're going to go start their business. And how are they going to do that? They're going to do it in the virtual space. And many are either going to coach or they're going to sell a product, information or physical product, and it's going to be virtual, right? And you're going to see that. And then you're going to see a push from a lot of the big conglomerate companies are going to start bringing into virtual settings. And let me tell you this. Matter of fact, I was sitting there talking. I was at a banquet for Christmas with a friend of mine at church, and we were just sitting talking, right? And he actually runs. He's the, I don't know if he was the CFO or the COO of a major multimedia production agency for a certain Christian organizational TV station, right? And we were just talking, and he said, "Listen," he said, "Jim," he said. My whole thing, and they're in like 15, 20 different countries. He said, my whole thing was we moved to virtual. We built a studio in their house. He said, not only was it more effective, he said it was more cost effective, but people loved it. And guess what? That saved them millions of dollars of bringing these people to the studios by building studios in their homes and just broadcasting from their house. So you're going to see more and more of this. So you'll never know the difference of maybe some of these people are broadcasting from an at-home built-in studio, or are they going to be broadcasting from live at a studio? You're going to see a push to virtual. And the last thing for the predictions for 2021 is going to be, there's going to be greater fear, but there's going to be a greater hope. Guys, listen. One of the things that is really on my heart always is this whole challenge with people who are saying, they don't know where their next meal is going to come from. They live paycheck to paycheck. There's a lot of just things that are happening, and everything, like even with the stimulus check and everything that's, going on in the virtual sphere about that, and just everybody's like, what is happening and what's going to happen to me, right? So there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear happening. But I also want to tell you there's going to be a lot of hope. There's going to be a lot of hope that comes forth out of this, because at the end of the day, people are going to look and they're going to say, you know what? They're going to start relying on themselves. They're going to start relying on the people around them that are going to be part of their team. And they're going to say simply, I am not going to look outside of myself anymore to the point where I'm relying on the government, the point I'm relying on paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to do the thing that I've always been dreaming about, that I've never started, that I've never wanted to do because I was too afraid, and they're going to do it. And this is the year that it's going to happen. This is the year that it's going to happen. People who were too afraid to start things are going to start things. People who that were too afraid to move are going to move, because they know that they just can't rely on the system. Social Security may not be around for them. Social Security may not be around for us. Things like that. Maybe they're older and they just have never invested in any mutual stocks, or they don't have rental properties or anything like that. Things need to change. And in order to change, people need to change. So there's a great fear of what could happen, uncertainty and instability. But on top of that, there's also a great change and a great hope on what will happen, right? Because people want to know, people want to do, and people want to be greater. So that's my expectations for 2021, guys. Let me do this. I'm going to switch over for a second to what is 2021 going to call for? And for the next little while, I want to share with you a couple things in the leadership world, in the world of business, entrepreneurship, in the world of home life, whatever you're leading in. What are 7 things that you and I need to understand for 2021? And if you're just tuning in, if you're hanging out with me, if you're with me for tonight, let me tell you this, or maybe you're watching this on the replay. Hey, Merry Christmas. Let me just tell you that first and foremost. Merry Christmas. And we do these live streams every week. We're live at 5 every Friday. And we do upload videos every week here on YouTube, so that way we can make sure that you are getting the development, the leadership development, to be the leader that's worth following, because we want to develop you. So here's the thing: if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I'm going to ask you to just hit a subscribe, hit a like, and let's join the journey together, guys. If you're there on Facebook, guys, you can follow me on Facebook, hit the reminder on there, or just come over to YouTube and slap the subscribe with the bell for notification. Would love to have you part of the journey. Guys, there are many things we talk about this. We talk about how to be a leader on the station. We talk about, leadership skills. We talk about building influence. We talk about building mindset, DISC personality. I'm a DISC personality certified trainer. I'm a certified leadership coach. We talk about focus, simplicity, just all that stuff. But understand that you and I are here to be the best leaders that we could possibly be. And so my life, my heart, my mission in life is to help you be the leader worth following and to grow your influence, your impact, and your income. So let's jump into my predictions for 2021. Well, no, I did my predictions, but let me tell you for 2021, what do you need? What are 7 things that you need in order to make a huge impact, a successful 2021? And I want to unpack these things. So I want to take the next little while and unpack these things for you. And if you have any questions, Q&A, drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them live, or I will follow up afterwards and answer them as I have a moment. So the first thing I want to tell you is, when we look at this, we want to sit there and say, hey, 2021, we need to evaluate 2020. So what does that mean? What does evaluate 2020 mean? Well, guess what, guys? You and I can't go forward if we never learn from where we've been, right? If we've not learned from where we've been, we're always doomed to doomed to repeat what we've done, right? So in order to really overcome where we've been, we've got to learn from it. Guess what? Wisdom is not experience. You do not gain wisdom from experience, despite what people have been telling you. You gain wisdom from evaluated experience, which means when you sit down and evaluate your experience, you'll gain wisdom. And because of that, you and I need to take time in 2021 and to evaluate things. Like, just think about it over the next 3 or 4 days. What was your biggest lesson this year? What was your biggest pain? What could you have done differently? What are things that in the midst of this that you could have absolutely radically wish you would have done, that could have changed everything? What is the one decision that you should have done that would have changed everything? What should you start in 2021? What should you stop? Looking back in 2020, what are the things that you wish that these were the primary things that you really, really should have done? What habits should you have? Right? All of these things. Start listening and thinking through these, because these are the things that you and I need. These are the things that you and I need to do if we're going to gain wisdom and gain success in 2021. Which brings us to number 2. We're going to do a life audit, guys. We're going to do a life audit. So what is a life audit? I like a life audit, and here's what it is I'm going to look at my life, and I think there are several dynamics of a life. In your life, I think, and what I do is I talk about the 6 dynamics of a healthy leader, right? Spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, professional, and yeah, ever have those moments where you just forget the one, you say the 5, you forget the one, but the other one will come back to you, and you're just like, whoa, what happened? Oh, relation. See, it just came back to me. See, you always have those moments where you always name your list and it always comes back right there. But it's relational, so it's emotional, mental, spiritual, relational, professional, and physical. The 6 dynamics of your health. This is what a healthy leader has. This is what a healthy leader does. This is all those things, right? Well, you need to take an audit of that. Where are you in that? How healthy are you in that? How much of a person of health can you be in that, right? What do you need to change? What do you need to do? Do you need to lose weight? Do you need to put on muscle? Do you need to start doing something differently? How are your relationships? What about your physical and what about your emotional and mental fitness? Where are they at? Are you at a place where you can handle stress? Are you at a place where you're burning out? What about relationships? Are you actually in relationships? Or are you just hiding from people? What about your spiritual? Are you actually somebody who is constantly going to church? Are you somebody who's building that depth of relationship with Jesus? Or are you just kind of chilling out, doing nothing, and just hoping for the best? Throwing spaghetti against the wall and trying to see what sticks. These are the things that we and I need to start doing, and doing a life audit will help do that. And so the second thing is that we come back up is the third thing is we start making time for connections. Okay. So we make time for connections. So what does that look like? Make time for connections. I think making time for connections, and one of the biggest challenges has been that 2020 has taught us that we need more relationships. 2020 has taught us that we need more relationships, right? And when you think about that, if have neglected your relationships, because it could be anything, it could be your business, it could be your school, it could be your church, it could be your family, whatever it was, if you've neglected your relationships, 2020 quickly reminded you that you had some, because you needed them in 2020. You needed relationships in 2020 because we couldn't get through it without it, right? So 2021, if you're going to be successful, it needs to be a time where you and I are making much more time to be connected to people. We were never meant to do life alone, guys. This was never a time in our lives where we were ever meant to do life alone. Ever. There was never that time. So with that being said, you and I we need to make connections. So the next thing on the thing is map out your habits for 2021. Listen. All right. So this is a great subject that I love digging into. So I'm just going to give you the upper the upper 30,000 feet view of this, and then we'll dive deeper as we do this show every week live at 5. So here's the deal. Great people have great habits. All the people you look up to, all the people that you are like wishing you were like, all the people that you were like, man, I wish I had made the money that they made. I wish I made the things that they're doing. I mean, I wish of all these things that I was doing this thing. I was doing the thing, right? If you were that person, you can't just go and say, you and I can't just go and say, I just wish I had what they had. No, because guess what? It's their habits that created the success to get what they wanted. So if we're going to have what they have, we need to create what they've created. So we have to create the habits that they've created in order to create the success that they have, which means you have 12 months. There are 12 habits. There are 12 things that you'll be working on month to month in order to create the greatest life, greatest year of your life. So, and your habits can be different. So what I would do if it were me, I would look up at your favorite guru, your favorite, person who's successful, whoever you consider successful. Maybe they're making 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever it is, and maybe they're huge with where they're at. But the deal is that you're going to say, okay, what habits do they do in order to create what they create? Like some of my mentors, they have a morning routine. So I'm starting to create a morning routine in my life. I get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I do my Bible study. I'm doing some other things. I'm doing personal development study because I want to stay on the cutting edge of leadership because that's my niche. This is what I do. So I want to stay on the cutting edge of leadership. I want to also stay healthy physically, mentally, emotionally. So I'm trying to create these habits in my life because that's what my mentor, my coach does. So I'm learning from the people that I look up to. I'm learning from the people I invest in, right? So if you are going to be somebody who's going to be successful, what are the habits that the people you look up to, the people you invest in do? Because that's what's going to create the most success. So it could be something as easy as you drink water every day. You work out every day. Guess what? Working out is the number one thing that's going to create endorphins, which creates happiness, which creates contentment, which creates more work, which creates more productivity, which makes you more money. End of story. Moral of the story, go work out. So I mean, like, stop with the dumb excuses because excuses are stupid anyway. So let's just get over the excuses and go do the thing, and we're gonna all be okay, right? So we think about this thing, but successful people have successful habits. So in 2021, I'm going to challenge people to say, what habits do you need to create the life that you want? And then just map them out. Do one habit, 31 days to create a habit, right? One habit per month. And then the next month, just add the next habit. So by the time you get to December, you're at 12 new habits. That's it. That's all I want. It's not as daunting as you think it is. So the next thing comes down to is getting specific on your goals. Guys, hold on one second. Let me just tell you this. This is where it gets kind of a little bit crazy because everybody has their little vision boards, right? I like my vision board. It's cute, but I don't know about you, but my vision board created dust. I made it. It looked good. It was pretty. And then I put it to the side and I don't even remember where I put it. That's the problem with vision boards is you put so much work into envisioning something that you never do. And then in 2021, you pull out the same vision board that you did in 2020. You realize you didn't do anything on that board. You do them again. And it's probably the same one for 2019 with a little bit of a difference because now it's the latest hotness instead of the old broken hotness, right? So here's what I suggest with this, right? Your goals, your dreams, have a vision board. There's nothing wrong with vision boards. Have one. But if you're going to do a vision board, set it real specific and set it with time, right? Be like, yo, this year, I want to do this thing and I've got 12 months to do it. And you put yourself in that little crucible of time. You put yourself in that little place where you're like, man, I'm not giving myself an option, but I'm tired. The heck with you being tired. But I'm sick. The heck with you being sick. Stop giving yourself excuses why you're not accomplishing your goals. Every one of us have excuses. I have excuses. I like procrastinating. You like procrastinating. Whatever those things are, that's what the problem is, man. And if we can get to this place, right? If we can get to this place where we're just setting specific goals, and we're putting specific goals out there. And we're like, yo, in 2021, I want to make 6 figures. Okay, that means I have to make $8,800 some odd dollars a month, right? What do I need to do that? That means I need 3 clients a month, right? Break it down, whatever that looks like for you guys. Break it down. Like maybe you want to write a book. Okay, to write a book, you need about 25 to 30,000 pages. That's about 100 to 120 page book. So then, how many pages? How much words can you write a day? I can write so many, but maybe I do a little bit of freelance writing, but maybe that's not you. Maybe you're like, I can write 200 words a day. Okay, great. Spend the next X amount of days. Take 25,000, divide it by 200. That's the amount of time. Create the habit, get in the habit, do the thing, get it launched, get it out there, and stop making excuses, but be super specific about what you're doing. Because I don't want you to have a vision board that you've had since 1985 that just keeps collecting dust and you don't ever do the things that are on the vision board. So you just got to get specific, guys. You got to get out there and you got to get specific, right? I want you guys to be winners. I want you guys to be winners. And you're not going to be winners if you don't be specific, guys. So the next thing as we run down, remember, if you have any questions, comments, shoot them down in the comment section. I'd love to interact with you guys. Happy to do so. So look at this. So number 6, I wrote 7, but I only put 6. So I'm going to give you a 7th one, but I'm going to give you the 6th one first. And I don't even know why there's not a 7th one on there, but we can do that live. See, you just do things live. Let me tell you this. Let's take a pause. Because I want to tell you sometimes things aren't perfect. You just launch it imperfect and you build from there, right? And some of you guys, let me say this, some of you guys are so into being perfect that you never do anything. Let's stop with the perfectionism and let's start launching. Maybe that before I go into number 6, we're going to make this your number 6. Stop being perfect and start launching. That's number 6 for one of the 7 things to do to prepare for 2021. Stop being perfect and start launching. Right? You ain't got to have the right words. You ain't got to have the right video equipment. You ain't got to have nothing like that. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you are showing up for your audience. All that matters is that you are getting out there. You're doing what God's called you to. You're doing the thing that you're good at. And stop listening to everybody else and stop listening to the critic inside your head. Just get out there and do it. Because you now have this is 2021. You now have 2021, 12 months to create the life that you've always dreamed of. And all you do it is one day at a time. But every day matters. When you wake up, every day matters. So what is that thing you haven't launched? What is that thing that you haven't done? What is that thing that you're like, man, I wish I could do it, but you've been working on it for 16 years, man. Stop working on it and get it out there and start getting it done, right? I didn't have when I launched this show, I launched it 3 weeks. This is my 3rd week of this show. And my thing that I launched for this show, right? I called it the leadership moments. I did a month and a half of leadership calls where you actually had to get on the telephone, right? You had to get on the telephone. You had to dial the free conference call. And on the free conference call, you had to dial in there, you dial the number. And I just sat and we had a conference call of, I gave you leadership tips, right? That was cool. I like it. I got those all down. I'm going to use those to give away for free, whoever wants them. But here's the thing. That was imperfect. I just said, hey, listen, this is a great idea. The first day I had 50 people sign up for it. Great. And now what happened? A month and a half later, I realized one thing. I realized a major thing. It was too complicated to jump on with people, for people to jump on, right? But then what do? I realized that because my DISC personality is an I personality, right? I'm an I personality. So because I'm a high I personality, the deal is I'm a communicator. I'm energetic. I need to be on camera, right? I need to be like this. So then why was I denying myself the things that I'm great at? So I began to shift, right? These were things I was just popping off that I was learning as I was going, right? If you sit and try to be perfect the whole time, you'll never launch it. If you never launch, you'll never do the thing. And if you never do the thing, you'll never grow in the thing. And if you never grow the thing, you'll never find out what you're supposed to be doing because you're never doing the thing you never wanted to do in the first place because you never started. So it's time to start. 2021, be the year that you start. Stop listening to the excuses about, oh, I need to be perfect. No, you do not. You need to start imperfect and let it grow from there. And then we're going to do number 7. Number 7 is develop a team. Listen, guys, as we roll this down, I gave you 7 predictions. 7 things that you just want to be aware of for 2021, uncertainty and opportunity and fear and all those things. And then we're looking at, 7 things that actually do. Hardcore, this is what you need to do because I'm always somebody who wants to give practical value to you guys, right? So when you do this, look, build a team. But you're like, but I'm just a solo person. No, you're not. The quicker you move from a solo to a pair is the more you're going to see your business explode. I'm working through that right now. And in the past, it was a hard time for me. And let me just be real because I love being real and I love being vulnerable. I've built teams after teams. Matter of fact, one of my greatest gifts is building teams because one of my greatest gifts is building people, right? And I actually went away from that for like 3 years. I've been just doing the solopreneur thing. thing and solopreneur thing and just doing that, right? Building, creating, selling, building, creating, selling, building, creating, selling, and just having a good time, enjoying myself. But then I realized that, I wasn't tapping into one of my greatest gifts, and that's interacting with people. So I realized about a few months ago, that I could have probably gone so much further along in my business, in what I'm doing, if I had built a team sooner, right? Because I want to focus on what I'm great at, and I want to give away what I'm bad at. What I'm really bad at is the behind the scenes, the websites, and all that stuff. I'm terrible. I don't want to do it. I'm still working on a website that's been sitting there, and I look at it and I'm like, you ever have those moments? Let me know in the comments. You ever have those moments where you're just looking, you're like, yeah, kind of like, right? And I'm like, okay, but you get me to hit live, and I'm like, yo, let's go, let's roll. I mean, even like tonight, like this is my notes for my live. You can see that. I don't know if the lights will let it. You can't see that because the lights won't let it focus. But that was my notes for tonight, right? Because why? Because I'm starting to learn to lean into my gift and my strengths. And in 2021, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hire people, some people on my team that are perfect at what I'm terrible at. Maybe you can only, here's one. Let me say this. Maybe your reasoning or maybe your thoughts are, well, I don't have enough money. Well, that's a fallacy argument, because a leader who comes out and says, I don't have enough money, is a leader who doesn't know his resources, or right? Which means this, it means your mindset's broken. A leader needs to ask better questions. How do I find the resources? How do I find the money I need to create what I need? Right? Because on the other side of your problem is your greatest opportunity. So on the other side of that problem, I need to create a team, develop a team that's going to multiply my business, which at the end, you're going to have a whole lot more money than you started with, but you need to get over that hurdle. That hurdle is your mindset, right? So if you're going to get over that, then you need to understand that you can't afford not to hire somebody, even if it's for 10 hours a month, right? What could you do with 10 extra hours of somebody else doing something that you hate doing? Like, I love hiring people who can do something in 2 hours that take me 15 hours because I hate it. They're great behind the scenes. Like, there's this one person I'm talking to, she's like, I don't ever want to really jump on a video call with anybody, but we can do email. Uh, she's sharing her gift. Like, she loves administration. She doesn't like being in front of people. Okay, great. I'm doing the interview process. But here's the thing, guys. Find somebody who's gifted in what you need them to do so that you can do what you're called to do. And the quicker you do that, the quicker your business will start to grow. And that's how that works. So guys, those are 7 things that you and I are going to want to do in 2020, 2021. Yeah, we're not going back to 2020. I promise. This is not going to be a redo. But 2021 is going to be an awesome year. And that's 7 things. Let me poke this up there. I know it says 6, but we're going to poke this up here real quick. I know it says 6. I'd love to see this. Let's show this together. I'm still learning the system. This is a great system. This is Restream. 2021. Now I know it said 6 up there. We added the 7th one, launch imperfectly, right? We added the 7th one. But here's the thing, guys. Here's what I know. Do these things in 2021 and you're going to create success. Evaluate your 2020 lessons. Do a life audit. Make a time for connection. Man, you need relationships. I need relationships. Make that time. Map out your 2021 habits. What habits do you need? Bike riding, reading, more water, exercise. What are your habits? Get specific on your goals, develop your team, and launch imperfectly. Do those things, and your 2021 going into 2022 will be vastly different than your 2020 going into 2021, guys. That's going to be the big thing. Boom! And we're going to just say, hey, so if anybody has any questions, comments, any of those things, please drop them in the comments. I would love to answer them live for you. Otherwise, I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas. So I'm always answering questions live. I love to answer questions, even if it's after the stream is over. I always want to make sure that on the next stream, I'll be able to come back and hit you up on those questions, because I want to honor you. I want to honor your time. I want to honor our time together. And then, guys, again, if you guys ever have these moments where it is we're over here on YouTube. Would love for you to be able to hang out with us over here. This is the Everyday Leader Live. We do live video every Friday at 5. We're live Friday at 5, right? You love that? Love the alliteration, the rhyming scheme. Live at 5 on Friday. Friday live at 5, right? The Everyday Leader, and we are posting videos regularly on this channel where we're doing leadership development, communication, things like that, in order to create the leader worth following, guys, because that's what you need to be at the end of the day. You need to be a leader worth following. So, guys, much love, and I will see you every Friday at 5.